I'm on a mission to make every country's national dish. It is day 1 of 195 and we are doing South Korea. We are making one of my all-time favorite dishes, kimchi. Kimchi is a staple in South Korea. It's used to preserve vegetables and keep them fresher for longer. It's spunky, salty, sour, and a little bit sweet. This recipe is from Tina, aka Doobie Doobop. You can find her on TikTok for amazing Korean food. It's made with salted napa cabbage, which is filled with a spicy vegetable and gochugaru paste. I used daikon, chives, and spring onion. Also got some nashi powder in the paste, which adds a beautiful sweetness to the kimchi and also helps it ferment. I made a thick paste using glutinous sticky rice, which helps bind the ingredients and stick them to the cabbage. You can also use glutinous rice flour instead of the rice if you want. So a cool fact is when it got really cold, they sometimes stored kimchi underground. This stopped it from freezing and it slowed down the fermentation. And a slower fermentation means a more balanced kimchi. Nowadays, kimchi is just kept in the fridge to ferment, but Koreans often keep a special kimchi fridge in their house. And even though it tastes better with age, I literally couldn't resist myself to trying a little bit now. I'm on a mission to make every country's national dish. Today is day 2 and we are doing India. We're gonna make khichdi with my mum. Khichdi is an incredibly simple dish. It's made with equal parts of split mung beans and rice.
In India, Gujarati people eat every day khichdi. They eat with milk, lassi and sometimes with ghee. Khichdi is very healthy and we eat when we are sick. They give very good energy as well. Even our Prime Minister eat every day night khichdi.
The rice and split mung beans are pressure cooked for about 20 minutes and then vigorously mixed with lots of ghee. The consistency varies a lot depending on your preference and what you're eating it with. A cross between porridge and mashed potatoes, and the flavour of the ghee really shines through, which by the way is just a clarified butter. Today we're just simply having it with ghee and salt. But as a child I used to love having this with hot milk. It's certainly not for everyone, but it's definitely a staple in India. I've got a mission to make every country's national dish. Today's day 3 and we're in Mexico and we're making guac. If you check on Google, it says Mexico's national dish is mole poblano. Each country doesn't always have a very official national dish, so I did some more research. When speaking to my Mexican friend Carla, aka Mexican Food Memories on Instagram, she explained that each region of Mexico has its own iconic dish. So mole poblano is actually from Puebla. Michoacan specializes in pork carnitas, and so we decided on guacamole, which would represent more regions of Mexico. Though the way it's made is really regional and also depends on your family. I used a pestle and mortar, which is a Mexico City version, but Carla just used a potato masher. I loved her idea of marinating the onions in lime juice to take away the sharp onion taste. Carla's family also doesn't use tomatoes because her dad says it takes away from the delicious avocado flavour. And I did attempt at making my own tortilla chips, but they just didn't crisp up the way I wanted them to. So for today, the shop bought ones will just do. It's so creamy and fresh, definitely one of my favourite snacks. I'm on a mission to make every country's national dish. Today is day 4 of 195 and we're doing Nigeria. And we're making jollof rice. I got this recipe from my best buddy Joel and his mum. It is so simple to make. You just blend out red peppers, scotch bonnet, ginger, garlic, tomatoes, and then this is what you cook your rice in. This taught me how to properly use tomato puree. Cook it out for at least 5 minutes so it's darkened. This deepens the flavour and you get the richness from the tomatoes.
So, jollof rice is an essential element to every Nigerian household. You'd see it on a weekly basis. I personally would have it with some plantain, some salad, and definitely some assorted meat of some kind, or fish. Different parts of West Africa do it differently, but this is the Nigerian take on it.
Using golden cellar rice is really important because it's more resilient, so it's less likely to overcook and you get beautiful grains of rice. And don't worry if the bottom burns a little bit, that's actually the nature of the dish. I serve mine with some fried plantain and red onion. It's spicy, fragrant, and so delicious.
I just tried the trending pasta chips, and they're worth all the hype. Start by cooking pasta and mixing it with olive oil, Parmesan cheese, and spices. Air fry at 400 degrees for 10 minutes, tossing halfway through. I served it with a whipped feta dip made with feta cheese, Greek yogurt, garlic, and olive oil. They're so easy to make and so good.
Let's make pasta chips. Salt that water, then cook your pasta. Strain your pasta. That's what good puts. Now add some olive oil, little truffle salt, and some Parmesan. I'll add some ranch too. Into the air fryer, fry at 400 for 10 minutes. These are crispy. Dip it in some pesto. I made these 2 months ago and no one seemed to care, but now everyone's saying,
So you want to make a viral pasta chip, but you don't have an air fryer. Let me show you how to make it in the oven.
First, toss your boiled pasta on a baking sheet and then drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, season with salt, pepper, and oregano, and then grated Parmesan cheese. Bake at 425 degrees for 8 minutes and then toss and bake again for another 5 minutes. And my cheese sauce is 2 tablespoons of butter, half cup of heavy cream, 1.5 cups of cheese, and a little bit of salt and garlic powder. And this is what I call pasta chips with a mac and cheese dip. So you don't have an oven or an air fryer for pasta chips. Don't worry, I got you. Fry your pasta in a pan. Remember to toss the pasta continuously so it cooks evenly and doesn't burn. Look for this golden brown color and season with salt while it's still hot. Place on a paper towel to absorb any excess oil and then sprinkle with Parmesan cheese. And serve your pasta chips with a side of marinara sauce.
Let's eat pasta chips. Alright guys, so first things first, we're gonna have to make the pasta chips. Let's go.
So we're gonna be using boti pasta. And we're gonna let this pasta boil until the water is done. Alright guys, our pasta is done and we're gonna add some olive oil. We're also gonna add some Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, onion powder, some parsley, and red chili powder. Put it in the air fryer.
So let's see, is the pasta chips good or bad? Good!
Holy balls, these are good.
Pasta chips.
First step, you're gonna wanna make some pasta. If you don't know how to do that, you are a Neanderthal. Then we're gonna go ahead and make some burrata, balsamic, I don't know, it's kind of just a side dish. Toss the pasta in olive oil, season, and then Parmesan cheese, throw it in the air fryer, 400, 10 to 15 minutes, eyeball it, I don't know. These are crazy good, super crispy, as always. Make sure to like and follow for more, baby.
Let's make pasta chips. Hi, my name's Priya and I started off with some wholemeal pasta, plenty of olive oil and oregano, some bambini bocconcini I've just shredded up with my hands, and a tablespoon of my dad's special spice mix and tomato paste. Then I mix it up with my hands, I get some parchment paper, lay that out on a tray, and then I transfer my pasta onto the parchment paper, and then a little bit extra of the cheese. I then put in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes, took it out, and voila!
A lot of people are asking about the butter poached potatoes, so I'm gonna make it. We're gonna take a fork. We're gonna poke some holes that the butter can go into. Potatoes then go into a bag and we'll add a couple tablespoons of butter. It doesn't need to be very much since it's all sealed in there. Some thyme and some rosemary. Now I can go drop this into my water bath. A lot of you guys asked for the red oil recipe, so let's make it. 2 cups oil, smoked paprika, coriander, cumin, rosemary, garlic, Mexican oregano, peppercorns, 1 clove. This is gonna go on the stove on really low heat and we're gonna steep it for a while. And then once it's cooled down a little bit, just so it's a little bit safer, we'll strain it through cheesecloth. And now you have this super flavorful oil. You can throw it in the fridge, or you can throw it in the freezer. And this is also vegan, so this is great for things like roasting vegetables and then you toss it with a little bit of this. Or another thing I like to do is I like to use this as the base for something else. So if it calls for oil, I'll use this instead. Adds a lot of flavor. We're gonna do something really easy and it's a really fun seasoning that you can play with. There's no fancy recipe for this. All you need is equal parts salt and vinegar. You can do any vinegar you want. So I just have kosher salt and I'm gonna add equal parts vinegar. Now you can leave this by a window that's getting a lot of sun, or I'm gonna put this in my dehydrator to speed it up a little bit. Next day. So salt and vinegar. Now you can use this on your fish and chips, you can use this on your vegetables, your cracklins, your popcorn, and best part is it won't get anything soggy. So I call this the umami bomb aioli. So the base is black garlic. And then the other familiar things like egg yolk and mustard. And then it also has some raw garlic in there just for the heat. A big squeeze of lemon juice, and then I'm adding fish sauce. You can use soy sauce if you want. So just put all those ingredients into the blender and blend it smooth, and then grab a dime bag of your favorite mushroom powder, and then incorporate that in, pulse it again. I'm gonna put it into a little squeeze bottle, and this is what I served with the soft shell crab. Continuing with the sous vide recipes, we're gonna make purees. The cool thing about doing it this way is that you can do a whole bunch of them at the same time, which really came in handy for me when I was working in the restaurant because I was a saucier and I had like 10 sauces on my station, plus my purees, plus my other prep. And you can do this with almost any vegetable, sunchoke, celery root, cauliflower. You can make mashed potatoes this way. So just so it cooks evenly, I'll slice everything around the same size, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It's gonna get blended anyways. Slicing it thinner will make it cook faster. I'm just gonna add a touch of cream and then seal it up, put it into my water bath, set as high as it goes, and just let it ride in there. It's ready when you can just poke it and it's tender. Throw that into your blender, and then at this point add a little bit of salt, and then you can adjust the texture by adding more cream, butter. I added truffle oil because celery root and truffle is really good. Adjust your seasoning at the end, add cheese if you want. This is an easy way to make almost any puree.
Coffee soap? Alright, let's do it. This has been a highly requested bar online and in store. Take in the rich aroma of walking into a cafe or a coffee shop. Wherever you go, that's exactly what this soap smells like. Liz, Cecilia, and I honestly could not get enough of how amazing this one smelled while we were making it and while we were cutting it. Not only does it have an amazing fragrance, but we also add coffee grounds for exfoliation. And we do understand that exfoliants are not for everyone, however there are some people that need them. Please note that this is not a facial bar and we do not recommend any type of facial scrub or facial exfoliant. Remember, we always do our research and we strictly follow usage rates and guidelines. And that's all. Thank you for watching and enjoy part 2. It should be up now.
It's always a great day when you get ice cream. But seriously, I got a cake today because I kind of wanted to congratulate myself for hitting some major success on TikTok. And I owe it all to you guys. It's been kind of crazy to see how many people are loving my product and supporting me and encouraging me. It's something I never expected. And I get kind of emotional because the support means so much to me. And I wish I could say thank you to everybody, but that would be kind of impossible. I got so many orders, it was insane. I had to shut down my Etsy shop for a little bit because I wanted to catch up on the orders, and then I will be reopening as soon as possible. I find it crazy how after all those years of waiting and wondering when my business will take off, if it will, that today is the day, that this week is the week, and it's crazy, and I'm so thankful. I am speechless.
The forbidden cake, that's what you want. Okay, well, it's my birthday, so why not? Let's roll with it. So the concept that I had for this soap was actually to create layers of cake in between what looks like frosting. If you've ever seen the multi-layered cakes, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But what I did was I took white soap mix, poured it, and then I have the clear soap mixed in with our soap scraps that I poured into that. I kind of mixed that together and then did blue mica lines and just layered that over and over again until I was ready to pipe. So I added my blue soap frosting on top and a cute little melt and pour gummy bear, melt and pour cherry, a paper straw, and then some Epsom salt sprinkles. I am so excited for the cut of this bar. Look at the sprinkles.
And I hate to do this to you guys, but part 2 will be up tomorrow, as I just made the soap today and it has to sit in the mold for 18 hours before we can cut. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and thank you for 258,000 followers.